Tim Pool trying to push for a civil war and Jack Bassett pushing for a civil war. They were doing that, and they were posting My Patriot Supply links to their fucking prepper buckets. Like they're pushing for a civil war that they're not going to fight in to sell fucking prepper buckets. That's ridiculous.
That's just that's sick. Honestly,
you see? It's insane. I feel like every single time I see anything from Tim Pool, there is something that has to do with like hashtag civil war. Or it's just civil war. He just says it's going to be a civil war. Why? Yeah. Why is he so obsessed with it? Like, why? Why are you wasting your time? Put the
my name on Starbucks. Civil war.
More pizzazz. It's razzle dazzle when you say it. So you gotta.
And then he's surprised when he has a guest on who like wants to kill people. Like,
Exactly.
He had to like take an episode of a show down because the guest he had on
that was recent,
I guess
right?
was I guess was like issuing like real threats. And
really
multiple times, and then when they went back up, he's like, "I thought I told you before the show, you're not supposed to like threaten people and like tell them you're going to push them out of like helicopters and stuff like that." He's like, "Okay, fine,
yeah." He made allusions to killing people, I guess.
Well, no, he flips out because he's like, "This keeps happening. Guests keep coming here and they keep trying to like talk about killing people." I was like, "Well, maybe it's your guests. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't have that problem. Like,
it's like, oh, you hate everybody. You hate everybody. Okay, come on in. Yeah, you hate everybody that isn't right wing. Come on in. You know what I mean? You want to threaten everybody's life? Come on in. It's totally fine.
This is the video.
This is the majority part covering it, but it's fun. This is the best version to watch because it's funny.
Tim Pool is upset because something happened on the show yesterday, and he's calling out the guy who made it happen.
And he's reassessing his career.
So I'm not trying to be a dick right now, but like I've got 500 messages of like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you taking the show down? Are you fucking with us? You're trying to make money.
I thought YouTube took the show down.
No, I had to take the show down. You made 2 allusions within like the span of a couple minutes to murdering people.
Okay.
Wait,
After I explicitly stated in the pre-show, do not make allusions to violence.
Can you pause this for a second? I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. But the guy that he's talking to, is that the guy that was in the live?
I guess so, yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure.
I'm not sure who he is. I don't care to know.
Brought this dude back onto the show?
Yeah.
That's the obvious thing to do.
What the hell's wrong with him? Sorry, I am so sorry. Sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to get the groundwork proper. All right.
Okay.
After I explicitly stated in the pre-show, do not make allusions to violence. Then went on to explain, we keep having people come here and saying they want people killed or people should kill people.
Press pause again. What? He just said we keep having people on here who keep saying we have to kill people or get people killed. I mean, that sounds like a you problem if you keep having those people
exactly.
on.
I keep bringing
a real problem.
You want to kill everybody.
Okay. Oh my Lord! Why does this always keep happening?
If you find yourself saying, "We keep having people come on the show,"
saying the same thing.
Who are making allusions to killing people or having other people killed and killing and
places
and fighting and killing, I feel like if you say those words about your show, you may need a deeper dive into it.
No kidding.
It's so absurd.
But that's like
they're only there because
that's what he does.
Inviting those people, like
listen. That's what Tim Pool. His whole thing is he rides the line as much as he can with YouTube rules. He rides that line because that's what his audience is. That's how he gets the audience he gets because he rides that line so closely.
But David, I'm curious. I wonder where he really stands. Really, where he really stands politically, or what he thinks about how things go on in the world, or if he really is spewing out this stuff and believes what he spews out and the people that he's sitting across from. Because a lot of times I'm wondering, like, is he just doing this for the bag?
Oh, he's
just like, is he?
Yeah, he's been radical. I think I'm guessing, but I think he's been radicalized by the money he makes doing this. So I don't know how deeply it is both, but he's definitely, I think he's moved to do right-wing content and has now become a far right-winger because that's where he makes a lot of money. Like it's become very successful for him. I'm not sure he really held any strong beliefs before all this, but if he didn't before, he does now, or at least he's gone that way.
I remember in the days of Occupy Wall Street, which is Tim Pool's claim to fame, and there were moments where he would clash with Antifa people who were there, because during the marches and when things would get particularly rough with police, they would do things that were obviously, illegal, but civil disobedience, and they would slash police car tires and things like that. And he would go out of his way to make sure he would catch what they're doing, and then also try to get in their face to like ID them. And listen, you could agree with what their actions were or not, but to like go out of your way to like ID them so they get in trouble for it is obviously taking it a whole nother step. And so that's when I would think like, what is his real motives here, even though he's down there covering this?
Right.
And that was an
Tell
issue.
the teacher.
Yeah, and that was an issue with him for many years when he was still covering protests in general, even well after Occupy. He would go out of his way to masked protesters or Black Bloc people or Antifa people. And if they were wearing a mask, he would really try to get up close and personal, capture their faces. Mm-hmm. Right. And, I think that's pretty clear. Where you stand when you do that. Again, you don't have to agree with what they're doing, but and I do think as a journalist, you capture whatever's going on, but you also don't go out of your way to ID these people and get like in their personal space, because that's also fucked up. Mm-hmm. So I think he does believe these things that he espouses, but I also think he amps it up specifically because he's created this audience.
And he tells the line when he needs to. If he doesn't agree, he'll tell the line.
If you ever see I'll see his clips because I watch like Aaron Brown. Like I can't bring myself to actually go to his channel and watch anything, but I'll see the clips, float around Twitter or like other people's channels, and you can tell when he begins to put it on, or he tries to get really emotional. Like he gets really stern and starts speaking in an angry voice. Like he puts on a show, but he's really bad at it. Like I can tell he's trying to act. Like it's like he's trying to get himself worked up over very insignificant stories, but he does it for his audience because he does it. That's how he does it to get those super chats, get that money.
If any of that is true, it sounds like a very lonely life. I'm sorry. The whole thing that living on top of this big ass hill with a whole bunch of money, nothing.
It's not lonely for them.
Like, I mean,
actually, Tim's been on video before saying how talking about how he can't. He's having a hard time finding a relationship, and it's a very funny video where he goes, "It can't be me. It's got to be all them." And he doesn't. He literally says that, and there's no moment. Yeah, there. Yeah.
So what's the equivalent of a cat lady with a man, like with the man?
Funny enough, he actually stole someone's cat that he had a business falling out with. That was a whole thing. Yeah,
I heard about that. Right. Wow, that actually made headlines.
God.
That actually made headlines. I remember.
Yeah, it was in Daily Beast.
That's insane.
Right.
That's insane. Yeah.
I mean,
the equivalent of Rebecca is a guy that collects skateboards. That's what he does.
He grew his YouTube channel.
No cats. He has skateboards.
Like his big YouTube moment. Like he obviously became a name through Occupy and then covering protests, getting hired by Vice and everything. But he grew his YouTube channel. Like the way he really blew up was when I think it was Paul Joseph Watson of InfoWars, Alex Jones affiliation. He was talking about no-go zones in, what was it, like Sweden or something, right? Or some Nordic country. And he said, if any real journalist will go out there and cover these no-go zones where Muslim immigrants are running rampant and white people can't live there in fear of their lives. I'll pay for you to go there and cover this. And Tim was like, I'll go do it. And he did it.
He actually met with like out and proud neo-Nazis while he was there, by the way. They weren't like, moderate political figures. They were straight up white supremacists.
And later on, people he partnered with to cover what was going on there came out and admitted that he had over-exaggerated and even fictionalized and some of the things that happened there. Like he over-dramatized situations and then edited it in a way to make things appear like they were happening when they weren't.
He also completely deleted an interview he made with this expert on basically terrorism stuff, because Tim Pool's trying to ask the expert, like, hey, so basically terrorism in this country, it's all these like evil Muslims and stuff. And the terrorism expert was like, no, the threat of domestic terrorism is coming from white supremacists. Like that's our biggest, problem here is the ever-growing threat of white supremacist terror. And he didn't like it, so he didn't use it. He just cut the whole thing.